We can see the clothes. Wait a sec.
Okay. I mean, it started, but go right ahead. So we're straight off and underway. Hello, everybody. Welcome back once again to another interview previewing Say Sir Events Rival Battle Series #1. We've got Skoob and Mimik here, and this is going to be an entertaining one. Not just the match, but I think even this interview is off to a great start. So, hey guys, how you doing? Skoob, how you feeling on this fine wintry evening?
Oh, it's such a nice winter evening, just all the winter stuff and all the evening stuff all getting together. It's just perfect. I couldn't ask for better.
Yeah.
I was supposed to say something.
And Mimik, how are you doing? How's it going?
What's up, guys? It is your boy, the Mimik. And yeah, it's winter outside, I guess. I don't go outside.
No? Alright, well, we've got a cool match coming up between you two. We've got Gamma Story. Gonna be pretty fun. What are you guys thinking? How are you feeling about the matchup coming and whatnot? I've lost track of everything now. I can't remember what questions come. First question, Gamma Story. You guys have obviously got a bit of a history in that. Skoob, Mimik. I know Skoob, you probably say it was your main category. Mimik, maybe a little bit more Amy maining, but definitely still pretty high level at Gamma. Skoob, start with you. Talk a little bit about what your kind of general history with Gamma Story is.
Okay, yeah, I'd say that was my main story back in 2020 when I was, grinding for world record, which I did eventually get, except it stood for like 9 hours. Katie disappointed me in the morning. It's a great thing going to the, single text channel SSC and seeing, KD 4. The split say -10. Oh, all right. Thanks. But yeah, I was doing a bit of grinding back then. I'm the creator of the skip named Skoob Skip. Kind of
Really?
crazy that. Yeah, that's crazy.
I wouldn't have guessed with the name.
I mean, thank Hugo for that. He was like, "Hey, that's Skoob Skip." But
There we
yeah,
go.
that's my history. I got what I got.
So you left a bit of a mark, you've got that world record under your belt, and you got a Skoob to your name, a skip to your name. So, not many runners can ask for much more than that in terms of a category, to be honest. But, Mimik at the same time has done pretty well for himself in Gamma Story. What about you? What are your sort of general times and histories with Gamma Story in terms of approaching it when it comes to it? Obviously, you've jumped into a couple other categories as well. What do you think of Gamma as a whole?
Gamma is a pretty interesting stage. Category. Yeah, pretty interesting stage. Only one stage. No, but for real, it's really interesting how linear it is and how strict your line needs to be. But if we were about to talk the history, it's like me starting Spark 2, Invalid talking about like me and trying to teach Pasta about it. And that's how I got into Sadix from Pasta and the people from the Simog Discord.
So you kind of started with Gamma, or was that?
Yeah, with Gamma.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So kind of a little bit of a origin story there for Mimik, one we've been waiting for. But like that, yeah, big fan. And when it comes to Gamma, for each of you, Skoob, obviously it's been a little bit longer since you've kind of really grinded away at the category, I imagine, but still got that high placement on the board. When it comes to anything left that you're kind of wanting to achieve with Gamma, is there anything on the cards, or are you kind of in a happy place with it, with where you are?
Well, I'd still consider myself retired after that one run. I haven't really went back in and try to beat that run. But, people have proved like you can get really low 930, right? and here I am, like, with all the stuff that we've discovered over the years, the extra stuff that's not even done in any of the runs. We could potentially see a sub 930 if I get the motivation. Maybe we could, try grinding for that milestone. Like, these seconds in Gamma are just kind of insane.
Could
But
see it happen.
if I were to come back, I mean, sub 940, pretty much best goal I could think of, really.
Okay, I like the sound of that. And Mimik, when was your most recent Gamma PB? Because you're still kind of pretty active with sort of Gamma, Amy, and I think a couple others as well right now.
I mean, I think it's been around a year since
Oh,
my
really?
PB.
Okay,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sure. But in terms of sort of where you're at right now with it, are you kind of still looking to push that further then, or are you like Skoob sort of
Yeah,
in a bit of a similar sort of place?
I'm going on and off on it. Like, I want to do Gamma Wall Ride too much, so it makes the PB harder. It's a pretty hard strat, to say the least. And yeah, I'm aiming for sub 940 too.
Okay, so both kind of got similar end goals on the horizon, on the same sort of page there, like the sound of that. Kind of says a lot about what we got going up against each other here. We got two very similar level runners. And obviously, you've gone up against each other and have kind of had a cool little sort of rivalry / friendship for a little while now, a couple of years. And in terms of competing against each other, I don't know. I think you have come up against each other in tournaments before, if I'm not wrong. Whether it was
Sonic Story.
Sonic Story, probably.
Yeah, I think so. When it comes to, I'll start with you, Mimik. When it comes to going up against Skoob, sort of what exactly are the fun things, or what exactly are the things you got to watch out for? Obviously, I know close friends and whatnot, but is there anything that when you sort of race against Skoob that kind of puts you on edge, or you got to pay a bit more attention to? What do you think?
What puts me on edge is that I know Skoob is cracked, but he's not necessarily putting the time in Gamma. So I know that he might just destroy me.
So it's one of those things of not necessarily knowing what to expect and such. Is it kind of one of those sort of, he could do so much more, but he's still somehow this good?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You're saying that, Skoob.
I am saying that because I'm self-aware. I'm self-aware of this. My friends tell me that as well, but it's just a recurring idea. Like, it's just about motivation. Like I said before, sub 930 might be a bit of a far reach. No, I'm not even like in the 10-second band close to it even. But like when I did grind, that was when progress was made, right? So if it does come back that way, what could I achieve? But we don't know.
We'll see. It always feels like there's still a little bit of untapped potential there from anything Skoob touches. Every time I do talk, that is true. Whenever I talk to somebody about Skoob, the kind of consensus is very cracked, could definitely be more cracked, and that's kind of the scary thing. So that's for sure going to be interesting to see if you do hop back into Gamma, or any category for that matter. So looking forward to that. But again, same sort of question to you about going up against Mimik, who obviously is also kind of in that same sort of vein, very sort of good, a lot of categories, pushes them very far. What kind of things do you watch out for when competing against him, not just in tournaments and matches, but also quite close together on boards and such? And now you're Minecraft.
I love this camera.
What kind of things about going up against Mimik make it as entertaining as it is?
Okay, well, I don't know. Mimik actually practices, in any capacity whatsoever. So I'm just scared that because he's got, at least like the recent strats, even like wall raid, and there's been a few things that changed, but he's still got that like modern muscle memory, I guess. Mine basically is just the stuff that we had in 2020, because I haven't played the category like seriously and since then pretty much. Mimik can definitely just whoop my ass without me even realizing. Especially how this is a best of 5. I mean, there's potential for me to win some of the matches, but like Mimik can take this. It's definitely not free, but I can screw up a little bit.
Could happen.
Early
Could
shot.
happen.
Early shot's gonna choose whatever. Because I'm pretty inconsistent with it, because there's a frame perfect trick that instead of like trying to press on the frame, I just spam the buttons,
Also, if we
hoping
got,
that it will work.
are you a masher, Skoob? What have we got there?
No.
No?
I'm a founder of the one tap method.
I see.
It's in my blood to keep on doing that. I'll never
So we
stop.
got a difference in philosophy and approach there. I like that, and that's the kind of interesting thing. You know, got a lot of differences here. We got the practicer, we got the old head versus the new. We got the guy who seemingly just touches and turns. We got King Midas in speedrun form versus the Mimik in speedrun form. So it's going to be a pretty cool one. And generally speaking about those things, like we sort of said there about things like different strats, early shot, and etc., etc. When it comes to the category as a whole, I'll ask you first, Skoob. When it comes to strengths of your game and things that you're going to feel are going to put you perhaps a little bit more towards an advantage in the race, what do you feel are the best things for you there?
Yeah, good question. There's not much variation that happens in Gamma. I think we all know, but I guess I do hold kind of some consistency in like most of the story. I'm gonna lose a few seconds here and there, but like, as I don't think there's anything major that I'd lose out on. Which Mimik should probably look out for. Yes, he has to fight a bit harder for those extra seconds, extra frames. Because I'm definitely not messing anything major up.
That's interesting. That's gonna come back. We'll see about
that's gonna come back.
Yeah, that's gonna come back.
That's a big statement there. Not gonna mess anything. But yeah, no, go on.
Past experience, yeah. Like I'd say with enough practice, again, get a refresher and everything, we can definitely expect me to try my best, as you'd call it.
I just like that. If I practice enough, maybe I'll try my best. We'll see. But no, I think I get what you're saying. And the same thing then to you, Mimik, really, in terms of positives for you versus Skoob. What kind of things maybe do you have that advantage in? Obviously, it's talking about your, more recent muscle memory and less rust with the category and whatnot. What do you sort of think is going to give you an advantage there?
I think my early game will have a big advantage at the start. The webcam, Skoob. So yeah, I think my early game will have an advantage, but when it comes to Hot Shelter, Red Mountain, and Windy Valley, I'll struggle a bit more.
Yeah. Obviously, you were mentioning Skoob obviously brought up a couple of different strats that you're going to go for. The consistency angle there might be a little bit more risky, but do you think maybe, how confident are you with something like Wall Ride or anything of that sort? Is that kind of something that you feel is going to maybe give you a shot?
I think I'll just try Wall Ride once and not try it again.
Well, we'll see that. We'll see.
We'll be expecting Skoob Skip from both of us, though. That's not... It's not off the table at all. We're definitely attempting it, both of us.
I still don't know how that works, and I think it's probably more entertaining that I don't, because I don't think anybody should ever explain that to a non-Gamma speedrunner, because it just makes it all the more mystic. It's just kind of like, I don't know what just happened, and that's kind of the best sort of skip to watch in the speedrun. But absolutely.
To be honest, we don't know either.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But bringing it back to talking a little bit about what we got here set up with this kind of event. Obviously, we've got the title system and whatnot, with Skoob looking excited about that. Or maybe he's just seen Mimik over to his left in real life. Kind of crazy. But we've got the title system in action. Obviously, this match, not a title bout, but when it comes to Gamma story, or maybe any other story, I know with Gamma in particular, I think I've heard Nixer mention about potentially being interested in maybe doing a title bout with somebody at some point. How much would that sort of appeal to you in terms of a challenge, maybe pushing yourself to that level, see if you could take on world record holder, obviously, Nixer. Mimik, I'll ask you if you're interested in such a thing.
I could be interested, but I think I'll get destroyed. I'll just try to do the most epic things I can think of and just go against Nick's sir with that.
That would be a sight. That would be a certain race to watch, but that would absolutely be just Mimik going through all the stops, seeing if it can conquer if you can conquer the mountain, so to say. But yeah, no, interesting. And then in any other categories as well, I think I've heard a couple of Amy story runners sound like they're interested in taking maybe a shot at some of these matches too. Is anything elsewhere appealing to you?
Sorry, God.
I mean, it was about Amy. I wasn't sure if you are gonna talk about it, but I would like to go against Chris in Amy's story. I think it could be an interesting rivalry. We're like not even a second apart. We're on the same second right now.
There you go. Could be very interesting to see that. And yeah, again, same question for Skoob really then, in terms of a top level title bout matchup against anybody up there, whether it's Nixer or I'm trying to remember who else is kind of filling out that top 2, top 3 off the top of my head.
It's not even Nixer anymore, but Refrag and Yoshi on Supersonic.
Oh, right, interesting.
Yeah, the actual goats of Supersonic. Something that Nixer can't even beat. That's the only thing. Yeah,
that's very interesting.
You know, that, like, they are super good at the category. Refrag's got, you know, like, thousands and thousands of runs in that category. Yoshi, also, likewise. Slightly less, that's why he's, you know, just below, but there is only so much consistency you can have, right? If we could have, like, I don't know, a best of 7, maybe.
That might be interesting. Maybe a bit more.
It's a really short category. But I think seeing them like try and just like win as many as they can, see who reaches like, you know, a decent amount of wins. That's probably going to be a cool match to see.
Yeah,
sure. In terms of anything for sort of yourself though, would there be any kind of sort of matches up at that top level, like with a title shot maybe in Gamma story? Would that be something that maybe appeals to you?
In Gamma. I'm not sure. I wouldn't consider myself top level in most categories, simply because I haven't practiced enough, but potentially like some equally skilled Sonic runner could come up against me. I would say I'm like Sonic Gamma mainly.
Sounds along the right lines.
Yeah. There's not many people who are like, you know, close to me other than Mimik and Gamma, so I mean, we're seeing that right now. So.
Take that clip out of context. That's the reason we're here. I just want to take that quote from Skoob out of context. There's not many people close to me. So he's not going to mess anything up, and nobody is on his level. He's talking a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
I'm very much enjoying this. But yeah, no, it sounds interesting. So you kind of maybe in that ballpark of just kind of looking at closer matchups before anything up at that high tier, maybe. Sounds interesting. And so, obviously, you two have both competed in a fair few tournaments and whatnot, so whether it's CAG, Sonic Story, you did both dip into SA2 for a brief moment there. It was a sight to behold. That was certainly something. But, yeah, no, it was You did. You came on in and you were just sort of like, yeah, go on then. So that was a good one. But when it comes to something like this, just a one-off match, especially in something like this where it's a condensed category, right? It's not as long, it's not as lengthy, it's kind of you versus the one other guy versus preparing for a whole slog of a tournament and whatnot, going through all those different matches, different opponents and whatnot. What is kind of the difference for you there when it comes to preparation and just sort of going into it versus going into a tournament? Then I'll ask you, Skoob.
That's interesting because for a tournament you'd practice to be the best, and then you're trying to prepare yourself mentally for what's to come. If you're paired up with if you're like a middle range seed paired up with another middle range seed, like you're expecting, you can be a bit more relaxed, right? You can play with consistency, but you don't have to go out or like fall out to try and gain time against them. And as the tournament progresses, if you keep on winning, of course, you might lose. If you win, you're gonna see progressively harder opponents, and you build up that mental against them. But with a single opponent, you have to, I don't know, you just have to study them, I guess. I'm not sure how to do that, but it's an idea.
Have a study of Mimik and whatnot. Yeah, no. I see what you're saying. Like, see sort of what it is you've got to do to win this one match, rather than kind of looking to maintain that building consistency and whatnot. I see. Yeah. So that's kind of interesting. And when it comes to, this kind of match in particular, up against someone you're quite familiar with, obviously, how much going in do you feel is going to need to change, or is it kind of going to be one of those things of, you know what you got to do, just go in there and do it? Anything like that?
With my practice patterns, yeah, I mean, I'll probably practice a few nights before, maybe like do a little quick refresher on the day. To be honest, doing too much practice is probably detrimental to you. Yeah, like, I've seen it with many people, but yeah, I'll definitely just try and rebuild roughly the same consistency I had. I guess during KAG as well, that was almost similar. Just getting that sort of hang of it again. That's probably going to be enough.
For sure, yeah.
And then we'll see how it happens on the day.
Yeah. And then same question to you, Mimik, when it comes to a one-off match versus a tournament, what kind of things are different for you going in? And especially coming up against Skoob in particular.
I would say less, like when I do Sonic Story, I grinded like so much, but when you go in with Gamma for just one day, there's way less grinding, but we need to focus on more stuff to make it more interesting.
So it's more like the intricacies of the run rather than kind of looking to maintain consistency and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand that, yeah. So then, moving on from that then, obviously we spoke a little bit about it earlier. I think you were talking about sort of dream matchups there with like Yoshi and Refrag and Supersonic Story, but in terms of what we've got here with this card in particular, obviously Focus against Labrys, the main bout, but a few other matches as well on there. Is there anything that you're kind of liking the look of? Anything that you're going to be looking to tune into? I'll ask you, Mimik.
Let me check.
Shall I ask you first, Skoob? Well, Mimik checks.
I think I have one.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
The Nimbus versus Spacebar match will be interesting.
Anything?
Yeah. No, I agree as well, honestly. I want to see who, gets the better hand, better play, whatever, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Go ahead, Mimik.
Anything for Mimik to say?
Anything else?
No,
I think it was kind of done.
Yeah, I was kind of done. Like, I just want to see them. It's just Spacebar grinds so much Centurions and stuff like that. That seeing him do normal Knuckles will be interesting to see.
And then, of course, you got Nim as well, who's kind of maybe the opposite of that, maybe a bit more focused on normal Knuckles as opposed to hunting Sentis and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Do I dare ask you for a prediction on that one then? Who you putting the money on when the prediction comes in chat? Whose number is going to be next to your name?
If it's spacebar versus inputs, in that order, I will go for the slight underdog and give myself a 2. I think Nim.
Who did you say second?
Nim.
Nim. Okay. I was like, that's such a strange way to phrase it.
You asked for the number besides my name.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah. No. Yeah. I would put money down for Nim. I wanna see him try and take it. He's done a whole lot of grinding in his time. I think he's reached like 10k some not long ago actually. And, it would be a nice little thing for him for sure. Like,
yeah.
Oh, my practice actually has paid off for something. The last time we did anything, last time we've ever done anything with Knuckles was KAG. So, but he also had to learn 2 other stories at the time. But here he's using his full, cold hard skill.
Yeah, and that's kind of the nice thing about like these 2 matches in particular, because we've only really had them grouped together with the other categories in the past, so it's nice to get them giving a chance to actually sort of shine and show off what they're like in a singular sense. And then Mimik, same sort of question to you then, really, with that Nux match. Is there any prediction there from you?
Betting all of my points on spacebar.
Okay. How many points is that?
I lost all of my points on the last bingo match.
That's so good.
So it would be like 600 points, but I bet everything.
It's confidence. It's big confidence, and you know what? I respect it. But there you go. So yeah, for sure, that's going to be one hell of a match. As is this. But leaving things off then, in terms of the 2 of you. Oh yeah, actually, that's what I was going to ask. So you mentioned earlier about potential Yoshi versus Refrag and Supersonic Story, but for both of you, I guess for Mimik, we'll start off with, first of all, is there anything that you'd like to see in terms of a dream matchup on any of these kind of events? Any category, any runners?
Alpha versus Nixer on Tails.
That would be good. Nixer is an interesting choice, because obviously Nixer is very good at Tails, but maybe not as much of a Tails main, so to say. Be pretty cool. And then Skoob, you mentioned Yoshi and Refrag, but any other matches out there that kind of tickle your interest?
Maybe I'll keep my mouth shut because we haven't seen, Supersonic doesn't get much love at all. Just like that would be my only suggestion, because we want to see something that's never really being shown.
Yeah, 100%. So good to get those categories in the spotlight.
Yeah. So honestly, yeah, that's it. I'd most want to see that, really.
Okay, all right, we'll see. Maybe Rival Battles 2 headline for Yoshi versus Refrag. We'll see. We will see. I've been enjoying the occasional freeze frame of Skoob throughout this interview.
There was one specific that I saw you laugh about, and I thought it was really funny.
It kind of looked like you were mid-sneeze, and it was just sort of... But there we go. Anyway, so we'll round things off here. This has been a lot of fun, and as I'm sure will be the match as well. Going to be a good time. But thank you both for hopping on here. I'll let you sign off with any final message to your opponent going into the match, February 11th. Gamma Story, Skoob versus Mimik. Skoob, do you have anything left to say to Mimik? Any parting shots?
Watch out for your ass.
Okay.
No! I was about to say that! Oh. I was about to say your ass.
Already into the future.
Should have let him go first. But then Mimik, any alternative words that you want to say to Skoob before we sign off?
I wish that was a burger.
Me too. Well, there we go. Well, thank you very much, guys, for hopping on here. It's been a good interview. Been a lot of fun. We'll see everybody back here on February 11th, and hopefully 1 or 2 more interviews still to come. But yeah, no, absolutely. Great time having you guys on here. Always a pleasure. We will see you guys very soon. Any final words you want to say? Just anything else you want to switch in? Nice funds. Either of you, I'll let you have the floor. Go right ahead.
I wish I could turn back time to the good old days when a mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out.
Beautiful words.
It's pretty good.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, there you go. Can we get like a face-off? Like look like into each other, you know? Like we got in boxing? Yeah! No. Just like into each other's eyes. Toughen up. Yeah! Look at this! That's what it's all about. And we got Skoob freeze frame! Well, there you go. Skoob against Mimik. Gonna be a great one. Skoob going into the void. We'll see you guys back here soon. Thank you all very much. Don't go anywhere. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.